And guess what? The drive comes down right into my end where I'm at. James Conner runs off tackle, and I see him go for the end zone and dive for the pylon over it, and I just shoot. His first touchdown back from cancer, and I look at the images I made from it, not knowing what the hell I did, and I was like, I remember the thrill that I got doing that and seeing what I got from that and just knowing what the moment was and hearing the crowd go wild. And I was like, I need that again.
You are now tuning in to the Relentless Project. Real people, real stories, real life.
Yeah, we do. Like, we were shooting some video with Lucas Sieber, stuff like that, and I'm like, man, maybe this is something like the last thing I want to do is like step on people's toes, because that's not my wheelhouse. This is my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, maybe we can do something where everyone wins, right? Like, if I pick up a job, I contract like you and Pittsburgh Flyover, and you know, you do what you're good at, and then I edit it how I edit it. Everyone wins.
Exactly.
That's the goal.
And it's kind of just like that. I think that just contributes to the free flowing creativity of different things. And that's something I've found with people I try to bring into different projects that I'm doing. Like, I brought Flyover into Turf Wars that I'm doing with Hutch.
That's dope. I went to the first one. It was sweet.
At the Montour Sports Complex?
Yeah. And then I was out of town for the second one, and I'm at a wedding for the next one.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you need to schedule these when I'm free.
Yeah, in accordance to
because because I'm important, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, yeah, okay. And then
and he's been on this podcast too, hasn't he?
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. Dude, I think I've had Hutch, I've had Savage, who's involved with that. I've had McSorley with Integrity and Greg Jim. I've had just crazy, dude.
Siegfried's been on
Siegfried,
this.
That's my homie though. He the seat's always open for him. He holds a special place in my heart. But I'm sitting here one day. Literally, I was sitting here editing right here. I'm looking around. And I'm like, damn, I used to like struggle to find people and like had to go set up in places, find places that let me come in, set up, record, tear down. And I'm like, dude, I got a studio. I can just come in, press record on everything and get going. Got my own little spot where I can chill, kick it. I don't have to kick anybody out, except with my schedule. I'm always like, all right, and I'm running around. But it's just crazy to see it come full circle, and it's almost surreal.
It is. And when it all starts from, I guess what most people, and this is just me speaking for myself, like, I can't tell you how many times at the beginning of all these ventures, like, my whole thing started just picking up a camera. I can't tell you how many people told me to pump the brakes, this, that, and the other thing, checked me, maybe have a backup plan, this, that, and the other thing.
Isn't that like kind of frustrating?
At the time, yes, absolutely. Speaking for myself, it was. But that's just stuff you can't let discourage you with it. You know what I mean? That's why I connect with the whole relentless aspect of things like that. It's because there are times where you have to look yourself in the mirror, and if you think that you're the best in the world or you're the best in your field or whatever, you might be the only person saying it, but if you're the one believing it, that's what takes you to do these things, to take these risks, to get uncomfortable and to make something happen for yourself, who you love, whatever you're trying to do.
And there's something to be said about, like, I don't even think I'm the best in podcasting at all. Obviously, there's so many people doing it great, but everyone has a story, right? Every time I bring someone on, it's because they have a story. I have a story. I connect with someone differently than someone else will connect with someone, right? And, you know, I try to approach people with the best of intention and hear people out and give them the benefit of the doubt. And, you know, I'm always looking to learn. So it's like, that's my way of, like, I have something different than this person would have. And it may be similar, it may be not. But, like, if you connect with me, more than likely you're going to look at this person like, oh, let me hear what this conversation looks like. Because that's the whole premise of it, is having honest, cool conversation, hearing about people's stories, and hopefully it applies to people. And And through that, I'm like, I just hit your episode 101. How do you pronounce your last name? I don't want to be.
I appreciate
Is it easy as a set?
It's Palla. That's just the correct. People say Paula all the time. I've gotten Paya. I lived in Arizona.
The Hispanic in me wants to say Paya.
Exactly.
But, so
I'm Italian too, so it comes from that.
We'll get right into it. This is episode 101 on the Relentless Project with Andrew Palla. And
stoked to be here.
Hey, I appreciate that, brother. One thing I like to start with, if you've watched the episodes, is how would you describe yourself? Who is Andrew Palla?
I mean, to put buzzwords on it, I'd say I'm somebody. I have a really high standard for myself in a lot of the things that I do. I like to approach everything that I do with a sense of pride. Speaking with my work creatively, I'm essentially putting my name on everything that I work on. So it's like, I don't want anything that I view as subpar to be associated with that, Who I am is I'm a simple guy. It doesn't take a lot to keep me comfortable. I value what I keep close. It's kind of weird. I don't.
And just hearing this is very humble, right? It's crazy.
That's because
how many shows have we done together?
MMA shows.
MMA shows.
I've been around since BitB 17. So whenever you came on,
I want to say I was probably 18 or 19.
Long haul then.
So we've been around, and I don't think we've had a conversation.
This
you
is
know what I
number
mean?
one,
You know what's crazy? It wasn't until this last show at the venue, shout out 247. I'm walking by, and no disrespect, right? Because I get a lot of messages. So unless I see someone and talk with them and have their face, it's hard for me to connect. Yeah. I thought you were a whole different person until I saw your logo. I was like, oh shit, that's the dude I'm about to talk to. That's dope. And I was meaning to connect with you, but dude, this last show was crazy.
Freaking amazing.
It was crazy. It was amazing. The fact that, the card set up, the way the fights went, but just for the media aspect, right? Like, I'm set up all the way upstairs to the back corner, and you're usually around the cage and bouncing around and stuff. So it was interesting for me to go around, go down the stairs, catch the fighters, come up all the way around.
Get your steps in that day.
Bro, I hit my steps, and I got a bone to pick with Hunter and Ryan because that's the last time I'm set up over there.
All the way up there.
I was sweating, and I sweat a lot. Dude, I'm dripping
Beefy
in
boys,
sweat.
man.
Now I got to get these fighters who just went through war.
And there were wars that night.
There were wars, bro. And I asked them, like, hey, can I get you for 5 minutes for a post-fight interview? And then the first thing they're saying is, well, I just did a post-fight. Oh, no, this isn't the cage post-fight. This is the relentless post-fight. This is the fun.
Exclusive.
We don't really talk about fight. We talk about you and stuff like that. So I appreciate all the fighters because they all come up. But yeah, I got my steps in. It was cardio.
I'm saying though, man, I've been trying to drop some weight like that, so that's why I've been needing
Okay,
that.
we'll shoot from up there and then go down there. Every time, just boop, boop, boop.
I asked Hunter about that. I got a big old 400 millimeter lens that gets nice and tight. I was thinking of going and shooting some stuff up there, just mixing it around. It's really nice to be able to be in a new venue and not jump around. And even speaking from what you do, like kind of having to go in and scope out all these new places, set up, and then, you know what I mean? There's so much more legwork that goes into getting there, getting set up, and getting your job done when you're bouncing from place to place every month, like we were trying to put on shows.
Yeah. What is your specialty? Do you do video or photo or both?
I recently, it's been about the last year, I've gotten into the video and graphic design realm of things. I am a still photographer, still photos from my bread and butter. That's what I started doing. That's what I think I'm best at. That's what I've been told I'm best at. And I like to find ways to stimulate my creativity, and I get in my own bubble, and I like to find things to keep me occupied and stuff like that. That's why it was difficult for me to kind of answer to you who I was, you know what I mean? Because it's like the way I approach life, it's not me that I talk about with different things. Like if I'm ever in a position to reflect about things, I'm always thanking other people because we'll kind of get to find out with this, I'm somebody that's a habitual believer that I'm almost on borrowed time, and paying it forward so pivotal to my foundation, because it's almost like I don't feel like I deserve to be here sometimes, just with the path that I've walked. So it makes it so much sweeter when I succeed, and it's
almost like you owe the world.
I owe it to the people that stood by me when I had nothing to offer them, and everybody else would have written me off and did write me off at some points in time. But for them to stick by me the way that they did, and believe in me when I had trouble believing in myself, and you know what I mean? That's why I do everything I do, is to give back to these things.
Because I can connect with that, man.
Sorry, I get emotional talking about that stuff, man.
Bro, I'm quote unquote corny because I could say I'm passionate, bro, and
nothing corny about being passionate.
So many times I get confused. Like when I'm excited, I get confused for being loud and obnoxious, and when I'm upset, I get confused with why is he angry. And it's like I just approach everything with so much passion because I never was afforded that opportunity as a kid, right? Like I'm on survival mode, not to be dramatic, but I'm trying to figure out tomorrow, let alone making it to everyone's talking about their high school graduation and what's going on. And I'm like, dude, am I going to be able to fucking breathe tomorrow because of the shit I put myself into? Granted, I own it all.
It's the stuff that makes you feel alive sometimes.
Yeah.
Too,
and we're young and dumb at times. And, I'm glad that I'm blessed to be here. But there were the people along the way who extended that olive branch and didn't see a young troubled youth, but saw a potential in me that I didn't even see in myself. So it's like, who am I to not do that for someone else when afforded that opportunity? And oftentimes I make it a joke, but it's kind of serious. It's like when I try to pay it forward and someone's like, "No, man, I'm like, don't rob me of my opportunity to bless somebody because someone did that for me." Right? Like this isn't me on my high horse, but like I understand where you're at because I was that kid. I don't want handouts. It's like, this isn't a handout. This is, I owe it. I feel like I owe it to the world sometimes. And some people are, you don't owe anyone anything. It's like, yeah, no, but I do because I shouldn't be here, and I am. So I'm not going to waste that opportunity.
And I think we lose sight of maximize. I don't want to sound too much like a space cadet or nothing like that, like I'm coming out of left field, but I think we do kind of rob ourselves of the human experience when we move ourselves away from living in gratitude, and we'll talk, we can slap in lip pillows.
Oh,
cool.
Come on. This is the Relentless Project, not whatever the hell that is.
I got to credit Justin General Pat, and I be calling these things chinos now.
Oh, dude, I've heard lip pillies. I've heard Osama, what did he call it? Osama bin Lippies or something.
Lippin' or something like that.
Yeah, I'm like, people get creative. There's literally a guy I've seen on Instagram where his whole channel is like doing tricks and getting the pillows into his lip.
Oh my God.
And he just goes off. He goes off on rants, and I'm like, I just watched a 30-second video of a guy putting a Zen in.
Isn't it crazy the capacity that humans have to create, man, or just to entertain ourselves?
It's a double-edged sword, right?
Oh yeah.
Like media, I hate social media, and I know this is probably contrary to because of what we do. I hate social media. I hate being on it. I hate putting myself on it. Like I hate it. But what do you have to do to be successful today, especially in media? Social part.
And it's a balancing act too with it. And before, I don't mean to cut you off before you get too far with it. It's like, how do we balance getting things out as quickly as we need to, putting the trending content in your faces, but also maintaining quality and kind of keeping the art in that,
being authentic, right?
Absolutely.
Because we can cut 1,000 reels with AI, but you lose that that human part, that human emotion. Dude, last night I was cutting up a video for Ethan, not for Ethan Goss, but of Ethan Goss, talking about his fight.
I watched that this morning, actually.
This is going to be 2 weeks down the road it airs, but today's the day Ethan fights, right? So I was like,
good luck, champ.
Yeah, good luck, brother. Represent. So I'm putting this together, and it's a 20-second reel. Dude, it took me like an hour.
That's what
it's just like, I wanted to capture who I believe Ethan is, what he embodies, right? And like, but then you have to talk, but then I'm thinking like, Ethan is such a great guy. Yeah. He never shit talks well, not that I know of.
So humble.
Right? Super humble, never shit talks to anyone. And I had a snippet in there, and just because it was misplaced, it sounded like he said something to down the other guy. And I was like, that's not who he is, and that's not what this is. I was like, and unfortunately, someone on social media will take this 2-second snippet and try to trash it. So I took it out, and I'm like, but if you listen to the full conversation, he's paying homage to the guy. Like the dude's paid his dues and he's here. You know, that was the so I'm like cutting this up. And I'm like, I think this embodies it. You know, but we can't do that with every single piece of content because we never get anything done.
Exactly.
So it's like, how do we do output versus making sure me, right? Because if you're watching my stuff, you probably like what I do or how I do it. So how do I keep me in there, but while also encompassing the person I'm trying to encompass, but then also be efficient enough that I'm pushing enough things that people
relevant.
Yeah, stay relevant.
Up front in the algorithm,
dude,
all
and
that
then,
stuff.
So I'm doing all this, right? I spend an hour on this, post it, swipe, and the next thing is, hey, the algorithm isn't real. Here's a random video I picked of me recording my street, and it's got 1 million views. I'm like, this blows my, like, this is why I hate social media.
Yeah. And that's somebody that doing what I do is, and we can get into my background in photography and stuff like that. I get called an old head all the time by people. But as far as like fundamental soundness, diversity of my work, kind of really being motivated to make different images that aren't essentially just people standing around with a heavy filter on it and stuff like that. It's like, it's cool that stuff has its place. I'm not trashing it or anything like that, but I do hold myself to a little bit higher standard of it. And I'm kind of, I've been doing this for about a decade. Just 8 years. ACPallaMedia started in 2017. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I've been doing this for media, like, maybe a year, and I'm like, I'm tapped out.
That's the thing.
8 years in.
So, and with stuff like that, man, at least for me, I've just found I'm almost kind of an adrenaline junkie in a way, to where not being good at something and not knowing how to do something is kind of thrilling to me. So if I can figure out a way to hybrid that with my need to create, that's like, because I felt like that too. I was shooting high school football and high school sports for the Trib out here, and it was kind of just, it got boring. You know what I'm saying? Same thing, same routine, same deal, same style of pictures. No matter how much I mixed it up, it ends up getting repetitive. But then that's when I dip my toes into video. You know what I mean? And I've had great creative influences around me. Like we mentioned Pittsburgh Flyover earlier.
Shout out.
He's
a phenomenally
talented. Like I said, I brought him out to Turf Wars. Jordan Lee, Full Circle Media. Love that guy.
Also good.
Yeah, phenomenally
he shot some
talented.
Stuff for me too, man.
Yeah. Great guys, awesome to work with.
They make it look so easy, you know. But I do it, I try it, and I'm like, it's not easy. I know it's not easy. No. And there's something to be said about someone who is so good at their craft that it almost comes off as seamless. You know, they come in, they're like, and I'm like, oh man, how's this gonna come out? Yeah. And then they give you the finished product, and you're sitting back. I had no idea this was going to come out this way. I thought it was going to be good. I knew it was going to be good. And then the product they give you is something that's completely blows your mind. I'm like, this is why I will always contract out, I think, because I'm so hard on myself that I put myself into like a decision paralysis. Yeah. Like with the reel, I'm sitting there for an hour. And I'm like, what is it? This is not grasping. But then I can have you like do it, and you give me something. I'm like, this is exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, that's what's important with. I try to remove ego from my stuff as much as possible, especially when it comes to if I'm in a situation where I can pick a team, or if I'm coming on to a new team or something like that. Everybody has something that they're really good at. That's their wheelhouse. That doesn't mean they can't do all at a high level, you know, but we're kind of trying to build something like that with 247. And I think that's a big reason that you've seen our media take the quality upkick that it has, is because we've got a bunch of studs that are really good at what they do. And we're starting to put these egos aside. Everybody's buying in for the same thing. And that's what we're trying to move towards. So you and your, capacity with what you're trying to do. You get to build relationships with these creative people, trust their process, trust their vision. And I'll tell you, like, we chomp at the bit to be able to get into a situation where we're going to make our money, but people aren't sitting here with all sorts of creative constraints and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They kind of explain a vibe, are involved in the creative process, but are like, I brought you here because I trust you to do what you do. That's exactly what I did with Flyover at Turf Wars. Derek Godown, shout out to you, brought you out. Justin Burrell, shout out to you, brought you doing that.
I just brought Derek out for an event we had seminar staff.
Exactly,
but,
man.
You know, I didn't know you, so now guess what? You're going to join the team if that's something you're interested in. That's something we're going to be doing yearly. Shout out.
It looks like you guys had a good time at all that stuff.
Dude, it was, bro, I met with so many cool people. Dude, Rob with McDojo Life was there. Epic Roll was there.
Nice.
Like, all these people, and I'm talking with them, and everyone's so cool and so humble. Dylan Hoyce was there. You know, Heroes on the Mat was there. Everyone was there. Combat, like, everyone. And to me, I was like, oh, you know, I'll start bringing people, you know, people I know, people I'm cool with, and add them to this event, because I think this event is going to be, I mean, it was, in my eyes, was a success, but it's going to be a huge event that just takes over. Man, it's a tournament, a jiu-jitsu tournament all day, LEO and non-LEO, cash brackets, all kinds of stuff happening all day. And then there's seminars, self-defense, defensive tactics. There was a speaker, not a speaker, Kevin Donaldson, who was also on the podcast.
Nice.
Amazing speaker. Hate to water him down. But he was there. There was, you know, all kinds of stuff that I'm a huge proponent of police should be training. You know, there's no excuse for the shit you see online. So it's an event of, like, no excuses. There's all kinds of companies, a lot of the big self-defense, defensive tactics companies. You can go and get a taste of which company you like, which, you know, is this your vibe? Is this your vibe? Do you like this? Do you like this? There was, you know, blade work, all kinds of stuff. Like, you can go and test it all out, and then go take their actual classes throughout the year, because these are companies that are training all year.
It's cool to do stuff like that too. I know, at least for me, I'm big on people I work with, brands I associate with, all that. It's like, do I believe in A, what they're standing for and what the message that they're pushing out, and then B, the faces that they have, you know what I mean, representing their brand. I know that sounds corny and old head and stuff like that, but all your coaches in high school and stuff like I talk about, when you walk around, you're a representation of this university, of this school, of this establishment, anything like that. So I like events like that, and I think it's really cool where you can get all of these different vibes, different services in one place, and actually get the consumer base in a position where they can have FaceTime with the people that they're essentially going to potentially be committing to work with.
Dude, and Derek was licking his chops, man. They let him on the mat. He
runs all
He's
around.
Like, he's rolling on the mat, taking pictures of people. He's like, no, usually I'm not allowed on the mat. Dude, he's all over grabbing cool stuff. But
that's something I appreciate that he does for our team too. You know, like me and Chris Bermudo, it looks like we just kick it on top of the cage and stuff like that, but there's a lot going on. There's a lot that we're balancing and stuff like that. And sometimes we don't always have the time, the attention, or the best kind of aesthetic angle on something. So the fact that Go Down is willing to go and get so up close and personal with stuff like that.
Go down.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that came out. Okay.
Cut that.
Good thing YouTube is let you get away with some stuff, but
oh yeah, I was studying up on terms
name.
of services before.
Dude, it is. There'll be some things that it'll flag me for. I'm like, really? Like, I had an episode with Roberto Clemente Jr.
Cool. I didn't see that, man.
Dude,
I gotta go check that out.
It was an older one, right? And I'm like, okay, like, I'm gonna push this one, right? So as soon as I post it, I go to promote it. One of the first times and only times, I'm like, oh, let me try the promotion stuff. You can't, because of political stuff. I'm like, we didn't have a single conversation about politics.
Oh my goodness.
But it was the time I was gonna promote it was when I guess he did a speech for Trump here.
Oh my goodness.
YouTube didn't let me promote it because of politics. I was like, I see political stuff all the time. One. Two, this has nothing to do with politics. So, like, it'll be stuff like that, and then I'll get on YouTube and watch people get murdered.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, that's fine. That's okay to push.
If to spare getting into it too much, it's if it serves one thing, that wherever the money's coming from is how I see it. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Just got to play the game.
Exactly. And you can, I'm really glad you said that too, because the industry that we're working in, trying to succeed in and set our roots in, there is a level of a game you have to play, but we're lucky enough to have an opportunity where we can play that game, but also operate with this level of
integrity.
Pretty much that, and just authenticity, uniqueness, like intensity, like we talked about. While people might take it some way, it's like, no, I show up to work every day and I love what I do. I can't show up to a cubicle working at State Farm and freaking pump my fists and scream and yell and stuff like that. But it's like there are moments where I can do it and stuff like this. You know, it like, or my fighters that I work with, like shout out Justin Patton and Carly Joe Thomas, both fighting Cage Fury on August 30th in Atlantic City.
Oh.
The Pittsburgh power couple's taking
Mr.
it.
and Mrs. Smith. Mm-hmm. They need a documentary.
But it's like, I getting something like that in the works with Chris Williams too. Shout out again.
Also had him on.
That was another reason that got me paying attention to your stuff with anything like that, is because it's just people I view in high esteem and I respect. The best way to put it is hang out with people that have what you want, that exemplify traits that you value, that do all of these things. So, you know, again, I can't shout him out enough. Chris Williams is one of the best dudes you will ever meet around here. Just meeting him has brought a resurrection to my career with people I'm connected with, and even just my own personal accountability and stuff like that. Like I'm going to train with him tomorrow. I've taken a little time off and stuff like that. But it's like, even in life struggles and stuff like that, him being a friend and just an outlet to reach out to and just being as straightforward as he is, it's like, it's a level of support that not most people are going to be able to weather sometimes, because he'll put it to you straight. But when you take things like that to heart,
rub people the wrong way, because he's just upfront and honest.
Exactly. And that's the best freaking part about him. And that's why, like, my wife and I are expecting my first son. When that kid gets into a pair of gloves, Chris Williams, Ryan Flora, and all of them are the guys that we're going to. You know,
deadly child.
If this kid's got my genetics, dad's 6'4", he's going to be the first 3-division champ in 247 history. I'm calling it. You put the date on it.
It's already signing him. Damn.
I'm talking shit. This kid come out being a theater kid or something like that. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Go and do it.
Hey, I watch musicals. I think they're cool. There's something to be said about.
There really is.
Dude, I watched Dear Evan Hansen. I watched the movie first, but I guess it's a musical. So I watched a musical in Buffalo. And bro, it's crazy. It's a set, and then the light shut off for like 3 seconds, and then they shut on back on. Well, they turn back on, and then it's a completely different set, completely different wardrobe. And I love the behind the scenes, right? So as the light shut off, I'm looking at the people on the catwalk, and I'm seeing the thing come up,
all
and I'm
dressed in their black.
Dude, I'm like, this is so cool. Like, I don't know if other people are seeing this, because they're not paying attention to minute stuff like that. I love this kind of stuff. So I'm looking, boom. I'm like, I didn't even notice that. I didn't even notice the bed being moved and turning into a studio, like, classroom.
And just even artistically, like the scenes that they can set with some of these things. Because don't get me wrong, I've seen all sorts of Broadway plays, musicals, anything. I haven't gotten a chance to go to Broadway in person, but movie adaptations, different things like that, high school plays, anything like that. But it's like, you think of the piece of art is the play itself, you know what I mean? But all of the moving parts that go into making that happen, everybody that's just sitting in the audience consuming it, that's being entertained and stuff like that. Think of all the people that are not thankless, that are thankless that you don't see, that any of these things that just make that possible. The people that are behind the curtain, pulling the ropes, you know what I mean, moving the set around.
You know where that is big? On Broadway. They'll bring out the production team and the stage crew and all that, because that is art.
And it's
you ever watch Cirque du Soleil?
I've seen the clips and stuff of it. You know,
go to a live show. Go to a live show. The show is great, but watch the stage handlers, watch the production crew. Dude, the way they set everything up so that the performers literally perform, like, that is where the magic happens in my eyes. Like, yeah, the obviously the performers are very skilled, but like, and watching the behind the scenes and watching how everything, like, these people have to be so on point with what they do, because if they don't, the show fails.
Yep.
and the artist doesn't get to perform. It's
And
the same with every field, right?
it's like it's team too. I spent some time pursuing coaching football because football is a part of my history. But I read a really, really good book by Phil Jackson, legendary coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, Chicago Bulls. Had an NBA playing career himself where he won a couple NBA titles. But he talked about what a coach's responsibility is and what it does. And, some people like to approach it with the drill sergeant capacity and all that. But he talked about the importance of understanding every component that makes up your team. People are all individuals. There's not a cookie cutter mold for anything like this. There are different things that motivate us. There are different things that take away motivation. There are different things that inspire us, that just get us to achieve our best level, or, to underachieve. So Dennis Rodman was an example that he listed in that book. Once he started his little flip and he was kind of going off and doing his thing and expressing himself after he got out of Detroit, there weren't people that wanted to touch him like that, because it was like, okay, do we want to deal with this headache and bring him in? We see what he does and can contribute to our team and our franchise and stuff like that, but do we want to deal with all of this stuff? And Phil Jackson was just so much of a genius to where he cracked that, you know what I mean? Even that mold that they thought would be so hard to contribute to something so great, he did that, so just taking that extra time to know the people that make up this team and to empower and put them in a position to maximize their capability, to allow, when you do your job, it allows the other person and makes it a lot easier for them next to you to reach their highest level. It's just, I played offensive line when I was a football player. It was always just do your job. You know what I mean? If I miss my block and my guy blows me up and we're in pass protection and my guy's got to come over and help me out, but then they send a late blitz, it's like, okay, but because I didn't do my job, another guy's got to do a little extra, and then our guys end up getting hurt, and then us as a team, we suffer. So stuff like Broadway, to bring back the long-windedness and to get back to the point, it's all of those people working behind the scenes, pulling the ropes, moving the sandbags, moving the set. If they don't do that stuff, that doesn't let the talent, the actors, the people that are on stage, the leads, to reach and shoot for their level of creative genius. You know what I mean? Because everybody is in a role in a production like that specifically. It's the same thing with 247. It's the same thing with what, you know what I mean?
It's the same thing in the corporate setting as well, right? Like that's why they call them teams in the corporate setting. You are a team. The sales team can't sell if the marketing team isn't marketing it appropriately. If the operations isn't creating the product or the service, then the marketing team can't market, which now the selling team can't sell. Yep. So that, and no matter what you're involved in, if you have a role, I always tell people, man, if you're a toilet cleaner, be the best toilet cleaner there is, because your role, as low as you may see yourself, is as important as the CEO running the company. Because if the toilets are dirty, what are people complaining about? The dirty toilets, which now makes your company look bad, which now makes everything else look bad. And I it's something my mother always told me, and it's funny because I read it in a book too, and it was like treat the janitor like you would the CEO. Absolutely. Because everyone has a role to play, and one person's role is no better than the other person's role, because without that role, other things start messing up. Mm-hmm. So how did you get started how did you get into media, right? And how did you get to Pittsburgh, coming from the other place, Ohio?
So born and raised in Akron, Ohio. Parents still from there, all that.
I think the listeners will excuse that.
That's
because he's a Pittsburghite now.
And I've been I joke about it and call it dual citizenship. I've got family that has been rooted out here for decades. My grandfather played football at Pitt with Mike Ditka. He recruited for Pitt after he left, before the NCAA said alumni couldn't. Okay. I've got roots. Okay. I've got roots out here, man. So and I grew up a Steelers fan. Like, it was, I almost spent, early in my childhood, I didn't come out to Pittsburgh as much, but once I got to the point where I had a little bit more autonomy and could move around and be around people that I wanted, like, it was getting to a point where I was in high school and I was taking Greyhound buses out here during the weekend and just spending the whole weekend in Pittsburgh and going back and doing what I needed to do. But once I got to like uproot myself and move around and be where I wanted to be, Pittsburgh's always been home. I went to school out in Arizona, met my wife in Arizona, married her in Arizona, bought my first piece of property in Arizona, but coming to Pittsburgh was what it was. You know, I'm going to start my family and have my first son in Pittsburgh, and I'm beyond excited to do that. So.
It's just Pittsburgh is a very unique city, man. Like when I came from Erie, so I'm not even a Pittsburghite. I'm just talking shit. But I would come very sparingly to Pittsburgh, and every time I came, I'm like, wow, this city's like, there's something about this city.
There is.
I've been to all kinds of Miami, Phoenix, LA, Vegas. I'm going to Vegas next week for CJI. Like I travel.
Ooh.
I like. Oh, dude.
Did you go to the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I met Joe Thomas, the founder of Tap Cancer Out.
Oh, okay.
And I had him on the podcast.
So you go out for fun and you turn it into work too.
Dude, I'm a big believer in closed mouths don't get fed. Right? I was like,
people all the
that's
time.
a cool, the organization is sweet, right? Like I love jiu-jitsu. I hate cancer. Yeah. Jiu-jitsu impacts my life. Cancer's impacted my life. I lost a lot of friends with cancer. One of my close friends currently has cancer and he's kicking it in the fucking teeth.
Hell yeah.
So I was
Keep
like,
going, dude.
how can I I want to be a part of this because it's something that's so special to me. Reached out to him on Instagram. He's like, yeah, let's do it up. I'm like, fuck, okay.
It's all about
And actually,
believing.
they're having a tournament. Tap Cancer, I was bringing a tournament to Pittsburgh.
Let's go.
I think it's end of August, if I'm not mistaken. But
Let's go.
dude, it's just crazy how the world comes full circle, man. And then if you approach everything with best intention, put your best foot forward, things happen, man. If you remain relentless in your pursuit, you're bound to find success.
Preach.
However
Keep it going.
is.
Preach.
You know, that's what I always tell people, man. Like failure comes when you quit.
Yep.
Because you either
The only
win
way is if I lose
or
if
you
I quit.
learn. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So how'd you get into media? You were in football. You've mentioned that football was like your thing. What happened with that?
So when I talk about my story, I don't really have any fear of slapping the troubled youth tag on my childhood if I were to dilute it into a sentence or two. You know, I moved around a lot. I got into a lot of trouble. You know, growing up, I ended up being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. There's research conflicting. They say people that are bipolar can't have borderline personality disorder. I've had other doctors tell me they think I have borderline personality disorder. And then I'm dyslexic on top of all of that. So
All
it's
kinds
like,
of fucked up, huh?
yeah, I was a kid that grew up that was smart, that had the potential to be motivated. It just, I don't want to say it didn't happen for me, but I talk about the importance of when you interact with youth or you're just dealing with anything like that, that if you have the capacity to do or say something and make it count and essentially be the person you needed when you were younger, that you should always jump on that. That goes into paying it forward for me. You know, I was that kid that was a little bit harder to wrangle in than most, and I know for a fact that I frustrated my fair share of people. That's why I got kicked out of as many schools as I did. But it's like at those formative times of life, I needed that person that at least gave me that opening to be like, I can believe in myself. I can do this. And it was moving around as much as I did. I never gave myself the opportunity to develop that so that some of that's self-inflicted, but it's also just being rambunctious and then moving on to the next thing when shit got difficult. Am I allowed to swear on here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
This is all about raw, man. If swearing offends you, I'm
Probably
sorry.
not your podcast.
But like, it's just there's something that bothers me about the overproduced, like people who walk like. The world does not bend around you.
No.
You should bend around the world, right? So if there's something I don't like and I don't appreciate, I'll voice that if I have to. But we don't have to. Social media has made it so easy for people to be like, I don't like this. I think you're horrible. I hate your show. And it's like, don't watch it.
Yeah. Why are
Don't
you
watch
sitting and
it.
subjecting yourself to that?
And I love the people who are like, oh, you're feeding into my algorithm. Keep commenting.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's
Thanks
true.
for the promo.
Yeah, but in my mind, I'm like, if you don't like it, swipe, dude. It's so easy to just go to the next video. I'm not everyone's cup of tea as much as I would like to be because I truly love people and learning about people. I got into an argument with a promotion one time. They were commenting on my boy's shit. And I'm like, yo, come on a podcast and talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
They fucking deleted every comment, blocked me. And I'm like,
Man.
let's or not talk about it. Like you had all the energy in the comments. Let's sit across the table and have a conversation.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that anymore. It's like, you want to talk about it?
You just want to go complain to your audience and try to paint a picture of somebody without letting them defend themselves or anything like that. It's even like, if you're going to go out, it's so common that people make accusations on people's character today because of maybe things they believe in or things they say or anything like that. And it's like, I don't know when it became a bad thing to disagree with people, but then I also don't understand where it became such a frightening thing to people. It's like people are so averse to, if you're going to make accusations at somebody or say something about somebody, like, show your face and back it up, because we see that on social media all the time with burner accounts. People will go talk the maddest stuff in the world with cartoon profile pictures. And I'm speaking that as somebody with an AI or a profile picture that looks like I'm on a GTA cover. So, but it's my face still. But it's like, or even debate. If you disagree with somebody, what is so wrong about sitting across the table from them and just stating your world belief, defending it, and if they disagree with you, not casting spurs, not attacking somebody's character, shaking their hand at the end of it, maybe taking a picture, and then going back to your life and letting that just be something you did. I'm a big proponent.
If I'm wrong, tell me so I can not be wrong.
Learn.
I don't want to be wrong, right? But like, English is my second language. So I fuck things up all the time, and people will jump on that. And I'm like, cool. Like, now I'm a horrible person because I misspoke.
Yeah.
How about you afford me the opportunity, correct me, and then boom,
take the opportunity to help somebody and do something good.
Correct me. I'm all about correction because I want to learn and grow and be better as a person. You know, we'll see something and you hear something and you run with it, and it's like you never had a conversation with that person. So now you end up hating this person and you've never even spoken with them.
Or it's like, why? It's so common now. People won't even like. You don't need to associate with somebody you disagree with. If you like, I've even talked about, like, I don't associate my brand with people that aren't things that I believe in. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, to just not even exchange ideas. Like, I think that's robbing us of a process of growth. You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody's going to spit me a perspective that I've never thought about, I haven't emotionally connected with, or I maybe just don't understand, if you're going to be like, oh, you are this way, so I'm not even going to share it with you, and I'm just going to keep it in my bubble and be around yes men and stuff like that, it's like, that doesn't help me grow, and that doesn't help you grow. You know, it's Kobe Bryant has one of my favorite quotes of all time, and it talks about people that are true leaders are the ones that have the balls enough to say something that might rub somebody the wrong way and make them a little uncomfortable, maybe get them pissed off at them a little bit, but it's going to inspire them to achieve their next level. So if I see that in you and it's something I maybe disagree with and something, whatever, I'm not going to sit here and point at you and wag my finger at you and say, oh, this is how you need to do your life, this, that, and the other thing. But if I think that you're not achieving your full level and you're somebody that I care about, I'm okay with being the asshole and saying something that's going to get you what I think you deserve that you're not giving yourself. Because it's all about the intention,
right? Like, I want to see you grow. And so it bothers me this much, I'm going to voice it, right? Like, the hate comments I see online, like, obviously it doesn't affect me or my everyday, so I scroll past it. You know, there's sometimes I'll look at it and be like, really? Like, you felt the need to send this message for what? Right? Like, and it's my understanding, or I've come to believe that those kind of people are so unhappy that it's like, it's easier to tear someone down than it is to build yourself up. Right? So like, some people just don't want to grow. So what's the next best thing? I got to put you on my level. And it may not be intentional. They may not even know they're doing it.
It might just be a learned habit.
Yeah. If that's how you approach things, like with hate and then leave, like, you don't care to rise up to anything. You just want to tear people down to your level. So why am I going to even interact with that? If it's something that I'm wrong or something, I'll have a conversation. Maybe I'll learn something. Maybe I don't. Maybe we just disagree and let bygones be bygones. And hey, you don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you. We just won't associate.
Go do our own thing. And you mentioned not stepping on toes and stuff earlier. And it's like, I'll just speak in the capacity of the media business as a whole. And we can get back to your list of stuff. I'm sorry, I get long-winded.
This is the conversation.
Oh, cool, man. I appreciate that. I'm having a great time. This is awesome, dude. I'm so stoked. But even in So what I do, like I work in journalism. I freelance for newspapers and stuff like that, and then I do my own kind of artistic work with fighters, brands, and stuff like that that I really believe in and want to be involved with. There's always a level of competition in this industry because there are so many creative people, and I've given a million shout outs with this, but shout out just the entire Pittsburgh creative scene as it is right now. Video, graphic design, photo. There are so many studs out here doing work right now in their own right to where you can see that. And instead of tearing it down like we're talking about to bring them down to their level or to your level, you can use it to motivate your level. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being this petty, looking over your shoulder, this, that, and the other thing, why not develop something friendly with these people? Why not have this positive relationship? But it's kind of like in sports. If you're friends with kids from another school and stuff like that, I can't tell you how many guys I lined up with across. I played offensive and defensive line. So some of my friends were guys, we were smacking the shit out of each other for X amount of plays in a game. But it's like, we go do our thing, we compete, you win some, I win some, and then we go on and wish each other the fullest in their endeavors moving on from that. You know, so in this creative scene, it's kind of a thing with that. People can either get petty and, you know, this, that, and the other thing, or people can embrace these other things, raise their own level. And you want to know what? I don't even give a crap if I help motivate my competition to be better. You want to know why? Because I'm going to use those level ups to motivate myself to be better.
That's literally how I try to explain this. There is no competition when you're at a certain level. It becomes collaboration.
Yep.
Whether it's you know it or not, right? Because if there's a podcast that's doing better than me, best believe I'm watching and I'm learning so that I could better myself. And then hopefully you approach it that way and then you better yourself. And guess what we're doing? We're raising each other's levels and providing something that hopefully people find use for or can take away from.
And we're doing so much good inadvertently. Like, that's what I love about it. You know, people be all focused on their money, this, that, and the other thing. And don't get me wrong, like, go get yours. You know what I'm saying?
That money.
Like, that's the thing. But it's also like, it's what are you gonna do with this life, man? You know, as we get more into my story, somebody that talks about feeling like they're on borrowed time, like I am, it's just stacking up money is not gonna do anything for me. You know what I mean? If that's all I have with it at the end of the day, like it's something I'm pursuing, and don't get me wrong, it's on the forefront of my mind, especially growing a family. But it's like, what is my why? I want to be in the history books. I want to inspire the next generation of people that want to throw their hearts into creativity the way that I have. I want to, you know what I'm saying? It's just filling my wallet's great. Taking care of the people I love is great, and that will always be a goal. But it's also, what do I do with that?
It's just crazy because what I've come to learn is, if you just approach the good things and the right things, the money's going to come. If you approach the money, you're going to have money and no one to enjoy it with. I want to make money so I can give back to the fighters, give back to the people, give back to. Yeah, I give away more money than I even care to admit, and it's almost to a fault because sometimes I'm sitting there and the bills come and I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have done that. And I'm like, no, you know what? It'll come back around, and it always does. It always does.
If you approach the things that you do, I love and hate cliches because it can get watered down with how people use them, and it's just, oh, live, laugh, love, oh, you know, keep swimming, this, that, and the other thing. It's those, but the cliches are cliches because they have so much validity, you know. So when I do choose to use them, that's when it's important.
I'm all about the corny shit, man, because it's true and it works. And it's right. Sometimes it gets watered down. Like, you see all these motivational posts on Instagram or social media, and it's easy to just look at them like, oh yeah, and scroll. But try applying that.
Exactly.
Try applying that. Like, give it a good effort.
It's a lot harder when you start doing that.
And then watch your life change.
Yeah. Or even like, I've started gearing more towards Christianity and pursuing a more faith-based life.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
It's the happiest I've been, the most. I talk about it in recovery too, because I did the 12 steps. The 12 steps saved my life. People have something, you know, mixed batch of things to say about AA. I did it the way that I believed AA was supposed to be done. completely put my ego aside, completely humbled myself, completely put my life in the hands of God and another human being a sponsor. And coming from a place that I came from where you feel like it's you versus the world, and then feeling like you don't have to walk alone. And I remember like starting to feel like that higher power was there, because it like I said, I'm 29. It's just more recently that it's been a theological God that I've connected with, you know what I mean? But in my early 20s, when I wanted to run around and being a little agnostic, atheist, this, that, and the other thing, and anybody believe in what you want to, you know, I'm just speaking my path. That was a very, very lonely existence for me when I think back on it, you know. And there was a lot of things I was doing to push people away from me. But I sit back and I think about those times, you know, and I compare it to more recent times when I felt like I've not had anything, but I felt like I've had that higher power and my God in my corner. And it's just like, I'm never alone for a second in my life with it.
Dude, and we're not, man. And like, I always... this is my belief. And it's like, how much do I have to hate you to not spread God's word?
Yeah.
How much do I have to hate you to not want you to be saved?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, and when I approach it that way, dude, I've had people kicking and screaming, and you know, some metaphorically and literally, when I mention my faith, and that hurts, because I'm like, how hurt are you? Yeah. That right, like. You get to, magical man in the sky. If that is your true belief, right? And believe what you want, but if that is your true belief, why does it make you so angry
that other people believe
it? Yeah. Why?
Why does it make you so angry to believe that, or to see that somebody's chosen to have faith in something that they can't see, that they can't hold, I can see it every day. I can see the way that God works in my life. Dude, you know what I mean?
We put our faith in things that are going to destroy you. Alcoholism to feel good, drugs to feel good, people relationships. We put our faith in porn to make us feel good. We put our faith in all these worldly things. But as soon as you put your faith in Jesus and God, it's like, oh, you're fucking dude. It's like, why does that bother you so much?
And something I love right now, I'm a big Ohio State football fan.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Huge. This 50-pound trophy's this 50-pound trophy's getting heavy right now. All that gold. I'm actually going to the game in Columbus. This Penn State versus Ohio State. It's a blackout.
I was at
night.
the gym this morning and they were rerunning a Penn State Ohio game. I'm not sure which one it was, but I was like mid-set and I'm watching. I'm like, man, I started thinking about college and all that.
See, that's the thing too with that rivalry, and I'll get into this with why I mentioned Ohio State football and how it goes into what we were just talking about. I talk shit to other fan bases about stuff, like my friends that are fans of other teams and all that good stuff. But, I just love when the sport is competitive at the highest level. And while the Scarlet and Gray have gotten the best of you guys a good amount this last decade, I'll tell you what, those have been some of the most competitive, Big Ten rooted, punch you in the mouth football games that I can remember of the last 25 years. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the Steelers and the Ravens, no matter how good either one team is, they always play each other tough, man. They always do. No matter how good we are in Columbus, I know when we have Penn State on the schedule, it's going to be a tough one.
And you know what's crazy, man? Like, these are kids. These are kids getting after it, chasing their dreams, putting like... And it's hard because they're obviously these are massive kids, right? And they're very skilled, So, and it's crazy how people, adults, will sit here and hate each other because of two groups of kids pushing themselves to be better and doing stuff they love. Yeah. And we're here like, you're Ohio State, fuck you. It's
exactly.
Like, at the end of the day, dude, these kids are getting out there and getting it. Man, I had to, I got to speak with them when I was at Penn State, and
Oh, you went to Penn State?
I went to Penn State.
Nice,
that's
man.
why.
It's
I
okay.
feed into the rivalry.
It's all good, okay, buddy.
Hey, the show was fun, but now we have to end it now. But and talking with them, like, they're just out there living their best life. They're studying. Then they're going to practice, and then game day. All their friends are here to watch them, and they're putting on a show for their family and their friends. And then some of them realize it. I mean, most of them, I'm assuming, but there's millions of people watching you.
Yep.
Dude,
sometimes 100,000 people in that stadium. Happy Valley.
110,000 Penn State versus Michigan, quadruple overtime.
Mm-hmm.
That's the game that pops into my mind when I was there, dude. I started in the nosebleeds,
Mm-hmm.
and by the third overtime, I'm literally I'm half field. I'm leaning over the railing, screaming my lungs
Mm-hmm.
out, dude, because the game was just so crazy, and it's like
I love that
Don't
we
love
have the
yourself in
mutual
life.
hatred for that team up north. We call them that team up north, though.
yeah, I don't know
but
who you're talking
team
about.
that wears
Very
that
relevant.
ugly. Oh yeah, now throw an asterisk on it. I don't care what the NCAA said.
But yeah, it's crazy.
It's cool too when you think about like you talk about these guys. I mean, obviously they're these just massive physical specimens. When I'm 6'4", you know, I'm not a small guy, but when I was shooting ASU football and stuff like that, I'd have to walk behind the bench and stuff just to flip ends of the field. I got offensive tackles that are freaking 6'8". you know,
the kicker for Penn State when I was there was like 6'2", quads like tree trunks.
unit.
I'm like, this is the kicker.
Yeah, yeah. And then your linebackers are all walking around freaking 240 and jacked.
Dude, that was one of the
They get up to
inspiring
260.
Dude, I was like 140 in college.
No way.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta get big.
Oh, you
I'm
hit
not
it.
vertically. I'm vertically challenged, but I'm
Stout.
horizontally gifted. Easy. I'm talking mass here.
Girthy.
Yeah. Like I was like, I gotta make up for my height. You know, and you know what the biggest like insult to me is when someone sees me in person and they're like, "Oh, I thought you were taller."
Oh no.
I'm like, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about that.
It's like, just call me short, dude.
Dude,
You
it's
know,
like,
at least
I just follow you on social media and I thought you were taller. I had a guy DM me, he's like, "Hey, how tall are you?" I'm like, 5'7". He said,
he just outright
He
DM'd
said,
you.
"Oh,
Like,
yeah." He said, "Oh." I'm like, "Damn, bro." I didn't even respond. Like, what am I supposed to say to that?
It's like, you sizing up? You trying to book me or something
I
like
mean,
that?
we can get on the mats. I'm
That's
a
what I
big
was about to
proponent. I'm
say.
always a big proponent of, hey, we can figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the fight in the dog.
I'll tell you what, man, when I was playing ball, it was dudes that were your build right now that gave me the most freaking trouble, no matter how big and strong I ever was.
You have to go low on them, dude. It's usually the running backs. Some dudes are.
I'll tell you, it was
short,
fun on
fast,
goal
and
line
mass.
situations, though. Against guys like you, you put both hands in the dirt, just forward. Who's going to push who off it? Oh, I'm sitting here getting goosebumps
I
thinking
can't wait
about
for
it.
football season to really kick off, man. I say what you want about the NFL, but I love it. I love watching just like, dude, the Ray Lewis of football, man. Just a mean dude. You ever seen the video of Ocho Cinco trying to sneak hit him? He gets like tossed.
And Ray Lewis
he isn't
talks,
even
too.
looking at him. He just hits him, keeps going. Ocho Cinco gets up, runs to the sideline. He's like, I tried to hit Ray. And the coach is like, why? He's like, I thought I could take him. I can't take him.
No, he's way bigger in person, too.
Dude, they're huge.
It is. It's crazy, and that's just so. I'm not as big of a fan of the NFL. I like the college level just because of how fresh it stays. People have mixed views on the NIL situation and how it's impacting the game, this, that, and the other thing, whatever. But it's just the game of football, I think, is so great because there is so much of the team aspect of it, and you do need to lean on more than one another and have that accountability, this, that, and the other thing. But there is so much, like I played offensive tackle for a while. There's times you don't have a tight end on your side in the set, and you've got a defensive end lined up wide, and you got to kick back. You know,
That's you. That's yours.
Cornerbacks all playing press coverage on the line of scrimmage, anything like that.
My biggest fear, because I played both sides of the ball, right? So I was corner on defense. And when the coach would call out man coverage, and I know the safety has someone, so I'm like, dude, it's me on an island with this dude who's 6'4". Like,
Don't throw the jump ball.
scary. I'm like, please no, that's cheating. Let's make it competitive. Keep it low. Keep it low.
Throw him a slant, something like that.
But you mentioned that team aspect. I learned a lot of principles in football that I still apply today,
100%.
right? Because like you have your individual task, but your individual task plays a role in the overall team objective, right? Like we always talk about these stars and the captains and like it's quarterback. If you don't have a line, you don't have a quarterback, right? If you don't have that fullback who's gonna pick up that
put his head down
Yeah.
and charge into that linebacker coming up to fill the hole, anything like
You
that.
don't have a quarterback. You don't have the run down the middle. You don't have everyone has a specific role, and if you don't fulfill your role, and that partner of yours doesn't pick up your slack,
that's where you get your running back blown up 4 yards in the backfield.
You know what I
That's
mean?
where your quarterback gets hit from the blind side.
so there's a lot of principles. Same with fighting, right? We see fighting. What do we see? One-on-one. There's a team that goes into that,
Yep.
right? How are you sparring? How are you training? Who's your dietitian? Who's your trainers? Who's your Chris Williams? Who's your Mike
Isaac,
Wilkins?
anybody
Who's your
like that, yep.
yeah? Like who?
Mike and Will over at Stout.
Yeah.
Yep. And how is everybody reaching that? You know what I mean? Their ultimate capacity in that role. That's why if I have a team in the fight scene, those are the people I work with the most. Yinzer Boxing, the Matt Factory, through Justin and Carly and all of them. And that's one of the biggest parts I respect about that dynamic, is because I've been out to the factory and I've seen how they run things out there and what their standard is. I've seen how Chris runs things at the Peach Pit. I've seen all of that stuff, and that's why I bought into that. And that's not talking. I think our fight scene is so great and so upcoming.
Dude, Matt Layshock with Southside.
Exactly, man.
Bro, everyone talks about him, and I haven't gone down there yet. But they're like, dude, if you go down there and spar, like,
I've been down there once. It's I haven't sparred. I went and I took some pictures of James Leto with his CFFC belt, and it's a nice little spot that they got down there.
dude, and
man.
they're like, they go down there, get after it. So if you go down there, it's not half-ass.
Get some work in.
I'm like, all right, man. Well, I'm busy this week. Fucking McSorley just texted me and Ole. He's like, hey, dude, we're gonna have some sparring down here. I was working, but
Ole Dovin?
Yeah.
Ukrainian Pitbull?
Yeah.
It's the first boxing card I ever fought was around him. The St. Patty's Day night at the fights, I think it was like 2023. He was the main event of that.
at the Priory, I was there.
Devin Siegfried,
Yeah.
his pro debut.
He was there.
I think knocked his guy out cold with it.
He
too.
he knocked his first 4, I believe.
Nice, man.
Yeah, and then he ran into a little hiccup, but
Sure, he bounced back.
he's training. He's training hard. I just want to take a second to shout out a few companies who've believed in me. These were one of our first official sponsors, so huge shout out. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Carbo Jewelers, established in 1997 on the values of honesty and integrity. Whether you're searching for the perfect piece, need expert repair services, visit Carbo Jewelers in Newark's Ironbound District, where your jewelry is always in safe hands. This episode is also brought to you by Continental Jewelers, proudly serving Hudson County, New Jersey since 1964. Whether you're seeking a timeless piece or need expert repairs, they've got you covered. Visit Continental Jewelers, your trusted source for all things jewelry. You can find them on Instagram at Carbo Jewelers or online at carbojewelers.com. Lastly, big shout out to Carbo Trading. Besides coins, precious metals, and jewelry, if it could be traded and collected, he's probably got it. They can be found on Instagram at carbo.trading. You can find all of our sponsors out online on our sponsor page at therelentlessproject.com. Yeah, dude, and it's just like in surrounding myself with this, these people are like, hey, come down, grab a round. I'm like, I feel so honored. I'm like, dude, me, bro, I haven't boxed in years.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, you want me to spar your boxer?
And it's like,
You're feeding him.
and you just appreciate the crap out of opportunities like that, because I don't know how anybody else with media approaches this stuff, but it's like, I grind the way I grind, and the people I work with, like, I work with them because of the way I respect their grind and what they're doing. And there are so many people in the scene that I do respect that way, but I just can't give all of them that time that they deserve. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, all right, who gets me first, who I'm putting all this stuff into, all of that stuff.
Yeah, because if I'm taking a project, it's all in. So it's not that
100%.
I'm not trying to work with nobody. It's just, you would want this when I'm working with you. So this is how I approach it, man.
And I always want to be the best I can be. I was just talking I did a sponsorship with Sal DeSimone. Shout out Triple Dog. But I was lucky enough to have him believe in me enough to sponsor me, or to allow ACPallaMedia to sponsor him. And I told him, it's like, I get the trends, what everybody else is doing and stuff like that, but I'm here to tell your story, paint a picture of you, and, all of that, and just make it ultra unique and tailor-made to what you're doing. So if I'm putting myself in a position to where I've got all of these different people I've got to give fractions of that time to, it's just, it's not me doing my best work. And, sometimes that it can hurt the money situation and stuff like that and gigs, but it always keeps my work at a high level, and that's what I appreciate. Like I take a lot of pride in myself going out and not doing bad work.
How did you? Because you're self-taught. Like you didn't go to a class. No. You didn't like how was that process for you? Because I can tell you how it is for me, and it sucks, for lack of better terminology. It's tough, man. Like seeing people's work like yours and Flyover and Derek and and I'm just trying to practice. I'm like, okay, let me grab. So like when I'm at the fights, I'll grab some stuff behind the scenes. Just like, and every time I look at it, I'm like, how can I cultivate this into something?
So my whole foundation is in still photography. That's it. And mainly in sports. That's, people talk about how there's no money in sports. It's just like, it's what I love. It's what's compelling to me. It's what I found I can make the most compelling art in that kind of gives people that wow factor. But how I got into photography was I was 18, 19, just got kicked out of North Catholic. I was out here going to school.
Hell of a school, too.
Yeah, and it was so cool. Like, it was a very full circle moment for me driving up here because I only live 8 minutes away. I live right in Reserve Township, but coming here, turning on the Mount Troy Road and driving past the practice field I was only at North Catholic for a little less than a year. It was my senior year, but that's where we would go practice. That's, the old school is where we'd lift weights, we'd shoot hoops in the old gym and stuff like that. And, when I think of my story and how hard I've struggled in my life, that's 16, 17, 18, 19 to 21 are probably some of the most difficult periods of that. So it was cool to be coming here, like, to be on a podcast talking about my work and, what I view as success, but like reflecting on those hard times coming past there. So I was getting into photography. I was fresh out of getting kicked out of there. I had to finish high school online. Wasn't even living in my parents' house when I finished high school. I was living in this little apartment my buddy had, and we were all doing drugs and just doing dumb shit. And I'd go and finish it. I had a laptop and finished school online, and I was still holding on to the football thing. I got recruited by a few Division I schools earlier on in my career before my trouble really started to hit, because I didn't get to see the field a lot my junior and senior year just because of trouble. But I ended up signing with a Division III school in Northfield, Minnesota called St. Olaf College to go play football at the next level. And they wanted me to come in and compete to start at left guard my freshman year. I was out of shape. I was addicted to pills. I was all of these different things. And, stupidly, I ended up signing the letter of intent thinking that I'd be able to pull it together and bring it all in. And, I'll be good for camp and I'll figure it out then and be in the right position. And long story short, that ended up not happening. And I ended up enrolling at Duquesne University. I was able to get my grades up enough, finishing school online. And it was still struggling with the mental health addiction part of things. And, my uncle, Chaz Palla, who is one of the most successful, and he hates tooting his own horn. So I'm going to toot it for him.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I think he's placed more photos in the NFL Hall of Fame yearly photo contest than any other photographer. He's won the Dave Boss Award of Excellence, which is NFL Photo of the Year of a picture he took of Mike Tomlin. He's won international contests. He's a very humble, insanely talented, insanely dedicated to his craft type of person. He's like me as far as just how we operate with the world, and somebody that's just, creativity is such a part of his roots, to where I mentioned earlier in the podcast how important it is for young men, especially. Like, that's where I value it, is young men needing that voice in their life to kind of direct them, give them a little bit of that confidence and stuff like that. So coming off of all these hard times, getting kicked out of schools, however many times I've been told I wasn't going to do anything, going through withdrawals, being actively addicted to drugs, getting kicked out of my parents' house. At that time, he was the person that did that for me. I can think of a time I was 18 and I came home early from school, and my mom didn't know what to do with me, and so she brought me to his house, and I went up and was shooting hoops at this basketball court he had in his neighborhood. And mind you, at this time, I'm 6'4", 330 pounds. I bench pressed, all that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a kid that's getting ready to go play college football, even though I'm on drugs and stuff like that. And I remember he came up, and I basically told him, "Fuck you, get away from me," like this, that, and the other thing. Like, and he got in my face, like, I'm telling you, damn near nose to nose with me. And he's almost as tall as I am. And he just started telling me, like, when are you going to take things seriously for yourself? When are you going to stop dragging yourself through the mud? When are you going to give yourself what you deserve and give back to the people that believe in you? And I will always talk about that moment, my upbringing, because of this. And, you know, not long after that, I started following him around to high school football and stuff like that. And this is the time where I told myself, and sorry, I'm all crying on your podcast and shit like that.
It's totally all right.
But I'm lucky enough to have a moment to where I can point to where I can say, this is why I do what I do. Being the kid that I was, being as down on myself as I was, being as conflicted with how I was going to move through my life and be of service to anything, or just not be another statistic and not be another person that somebody talks about as wasted potential. And I was lucky enough, I hope he doesn't get in trouble for this, but it was 2000, I want to say it was 2016. Pitt football was opening the season at home against Villanova, and Erie boy, James Conner. You remember his bad, he got his injury, was getting checked out, got diagnosed with cancer. So mind you, this is big in Pitt football. This is Conner's first game back from cancer. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about this. I'm in the end zone where my uncle goes. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. He put a camera in my hand to look like I was there, and he was like, try to figure it out. I played around with some stuff and got to the point where my exposure was right. And guess what? The drive comes down right into my end where I'm at. And James Conner runs off tackle, and I see him go for the end zone and dive for the pylon over it. And I just shoot. And it's his first touchdown back from cancer. And I look at the images I made from it, not knowing what the hell I did. And I was like, I remember the thrill that I got doing that. And seeing what I got from that, and just knowing what the moment was, and hearing the crowd go wild, and just, I was like, I need that again. You know, you hear so many people talk about when they get into drugs and stuff like that, and try heroin for the first time, and that's the feeling that they're always chasing. You know what I mean? Like, I know that's why I did drugs, is to those highs, those, just the feeling, the adrenaline, anything like that. And I remember I was 2016. I was born in 1996, so I was almost 20. So I think it was actually 2015 then, if I'm getting the years wrong. But that's where I was like, this is what I want to do. And unfortunately, I say it's fortunate, but not long after that, I was in school, ended up getting really bad into opiates, had to go spend some time in a 30-day facility. Then I went down and I lived in Florida and went through a treatment facility there. Caron Foundation, I'll shout them out to anybody. I love them. I was lucky enough to be able to go to a place and have the resources where my family was able to pay for high quality treatment like that. And it's horrible because that's not available to everybody. But those places changed my life. You know, I was a kid with no direction, and I went out and I bought into the process, and I met all these great people, and I started to get exposed to that first little bit of surrounding myself with people that had what I wanted. You know, don't get me wrong, I didn't get it all figured out then. I've had my ups and downs since then. I've got mug shots since then. You know, I had a DUI in Arizona in 2018, not long before I met my wife. But it's like, it's just, I talk about mastering the bounce back and stuff, and this is just to not jump around too much in your notes, but it's like, we're never going to get to a place where we make it and it's just totality there, this, that, and the other thing, because there's so much that we can't control in life. So there are going to be times we're going to get knocked off harder than we are prepared for, harder than anything like that. So it's what you do with that, how you stay moldable, how you stay fluid and move through these things. Like I love the cliche, a shark always swims forward, because that's exactly what it is. I don't care what happens to me. I don't care what life throws at me. I don't care what the hell it is. I'm always going forward.
And I think it's a big misconception that we have as humans, that when we reach that roadblock or we reach that setback, it's like, oh, look now. Yeah. But that's where that relentlessness comes in, right? It's like losing weight. Mm-hmm. When you start to work out, you make that conscious decision, you see the first pound shed. Yeah. You get motivated. Yeah. You keep going. Now this is getting tough, right? Because you're no longer as excited, you're no longer as motivated, but you still require the same work, if not more work, right? And then you're not dropping as much weight as you did. Yep. So now it's in your head that I'm doing something wrong because I'm not seeing the quote unquote progress that I was seeing in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And then you actually gain a little bit of weight. But what people don't realize is you start building muscle. Mm-hmm. Muscle's more dense. You appear smaller. Your weight may go up, mm-hmm. and then it goes down, and then it goes up, and then it goes down. If you're tracking it all, it's going to look up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And you're going to reach moments where you're like, man, this sucks. I don't want to wake up early anymore. Or I don't want to go late after work. Like, I want to just sit at home. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. But if you keep pushing through and you keep doing that, you will see progress in the end. There'll be a moment you look at yourself in the mirror and you see that person that started, and you see yourself now. They're two completely different people in both physical, in mindset, mm-hmm. in drive, and everything, because you've built all that. Yep. It's the same with life, going through addiction. You know, you're clean, right? We see this all the time. Someone's clean for 30 days, 60 days. And in my line of work, I see this, right? And then they disappear. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I see them again, and they're on stuff. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, you know, I'm back on it. And my first thing is, go get clean again. Yeah. Your 90 days doesn't have to be 90 days. You can make that 91 days next time. Mm-hmm. In a period, that's a lot of days you've been sober. Yeah. Don't let this hiccup define who you are. Mm-hmm. Let the bounce back define who you are. 100%. Because if you continue to bounce back, statistically, you're less likely to go back to that. Yeah. You're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out along the way. You just got to keep going, one foot forward. Yeah. How do you get out of fog? You don't look down the street. You look right in front of you, and you just take one step forward, and eventually you're out. Mm-hmm. That's with anything. It's speaking for myself, I found something that's made it easier for me. Like, with the emphasis of living in gratitude, it's going through life and doing things and just not expecting anything in return from life. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm living in that spot and I just go and I flow and I do what I love, I surround myself with what I care about and just shit that makes me feel alive. Like, the things that do go my way, that luck out, that, you know what I mean? Everything is so much sweeter, you know? Yeah. What advice do you have for people who may be going through that right now, right? Someone caught this episode. They've seen your work. They see your success. And they're like, I had no idea this is the shit he went through. Mm-hmm. Like, you're on the other end of it, right? When you're in it, it's hard to see. It's hard to be like, I'm going to make it out of this. Yeah. What would you tell someone who's in it right now, looking for a way out, looking to get through, looking to get to the next milestone? To keep the cliches going, I really like to emphasize the never forgetting where I came from. No matter what I reach, no matter what I'm pursuing, no matter anything like that, what made me what I am and put me in the position to be chasing the things that I am and have the success that I have and to be able to say I've done the things that I've done is the road that I walked that got me here. You know what I mean? That's why I'm here, is because I walked the road. So just because shit's different now, why look at any of that differently, and why change up on how I treat it, feel about it, talk about it, anything, you know? Just be fearless with the things that you do, man. You know what I mean? It's no matter,
no matter where you're starting from or where you need to bounce back from, it is what it is. You can't change the starting line with different things like that. Like, you hear me talk now and how I am and see where I'm at. Like 2 years ago, I ran my car. I was drunk off my ass and tried to run my car into a phone pole at 30 miles an hour and kill myself. Like, that's what I dealt with. But I come back and I see, okay, I was miserable. I was under the influence of different things. That's why I decided to go make these decisions. I'm here. I'm alive. Yeah, I'm going to have to deal with some trouble that I got in for that. But what are we going to do with it? Am I going to keep making everybody's life around me difficult? Am I going to keep being a danger to myself? Am I going to keep doing all these different things? And my example is an extreme example of it. It's just.
But how many people are going through that?
Yeah, exactly. But it's just, how much time are you going to spend and waste bitching about where you're starting from? You know what I mean? Making excuses for yourself, justifying different things, prolonging coming to a rational view of what your situation is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you just need things like I'm all about reality checks. I just keep me here. Don't let my ego get out of control. Don't let anything like that, because it just makes it easier for me to accomplish the growth that I need and move the way that I need to.
Yeah, it's a perspective. It's a mindset shift, and we hear that all the time. To keep going with the cliches, we hear that all the time, but it couldn't be more true, right? Like, own where you're at. Own it. It's yours. And I think one of the biggest things that helped me break out of the stuff I was going through was realizing that if I take ownership of this, I am in control.
100%.
If I am in control, I can change my outcome, right? Because I can. It's so funny because now people will hear about my past. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry about that. I'm like, why? Don't. Yeah. Like, that's what I needed to go through. I don't wish that upon anybody. No. But that's what I needed to go through, and I've been blessed enough to be able to get through it. And now I own all that. I'll never make an excuse for all that, because that is who I am. That it made me who I am today, and I will never go back to that.
It's made my life abundant today.
It has, and I can appreciate the little things because of those big things. And if you own it, right? And you talk about the starting line. This is an argument we see everywhere. Well, you have this, I don't. Okay. Use what you got. Use what you got and make the best of it. Because right now, you're not doing anything with it. And that's not an excuse.
No.
That's not an excuse. No. And I'm sorry that may be extreme and dramatic, but I promise you, if you just own where you're at, wherever it is, down, out, because we're defined by the peaks and valleys. No one gives a fuck about the process. Everyone looks at the success or the failure. Oh, look at him. He had it all going for him, and he did this. Now there's nothing for him. We hear that all the time. Or look at him. He's got a multi-million-dollar business, or he's got this. He's on this magazine, or he's this successful. No one really cares about the in between. I fucking thrive in the in between. I call it the mix, bro, because that is what matters. That is what's going to make you peak or make you hit a valley.
And being as involved. And I talk about this with, I say recovery. I view sobriety and recovery as two different things. Sobriety is a complete state of abstinence while balancing a continuous, all-encompassing approach of self-improvement. That's how I've been spit. Sobriety was in the rooms and all that. And then there's recovery, where it's just like, I'm just going to habitually do the things that do work for me. I'm going to stay connected to the people that I love. I'm going to relentlessly pursue a path of just overall life and betterment. I smoke weed and stuff like that. That's why I don't say I'm sober, because I do think that it disrespects the people that have come from a background like I do, that are completely abstinent from everything today. But
there's something to be said about that, right? Because if you have an alcohol addiction, and you require yourself, you've made it a point, like, I can't touch this, right? I had a conversation with Ed Lattimore. Shout out Ed Lattimore. He was dealing with a bunch of stuff. Dude, signed copy over there.
I've been looking on Amazon, man. Dude, gotta get me one.
But like, listening to his story, I'm like, dude, it's crazy, because you see his success. We started in similar paths, and I didn't go through the things he went through. and look where he's at. I went through my fair share of things, you know, and seeing someone like that, he's made the decision, like, for me to thrive, I have to eliminate that, you know, but for someone else, they've been able to moderate it, right? Like, now you can go socially drink and you're not dependent on alcohol. That may be your story, right? And it's hard to talk about that, because when we talk about addiction, it controls your life.
100%. Your next move, your way of thinking,
So it's a very, and it's obviously something I'm not an expert in or anything like that, but I hear a lot of people's stories and their testimonies and what they've been through, and to see how people have gone through it, managed it, and come out of it, it's inspiring. It truly is, because we all battle addictions. Different addictions. I don't care. Social media addiction, porn addiction, food addiction, alcohol addiction, heroin addiction, marijuana addiction. As much as people don't want to talk about that, right? There's smoking weed, and then there's every move you do is to get another high.
Going into trouble with your bills and not eating ends, meeting ends.
Gambling addiction, right? Like, I can go to a casino. I'm about to go to Vegas, and best believe I'm trying my luck. But there's people who will put their entire mortgage up.
Yep.
So it's like, which one are you? And that requires you to own where you're at.
To develop a sense of self-awareness and accountability, to not try to do the mental gymnastics to let yourself off the hook with different things. Because I know with my story, and just it's solely in recovery, that's been my thing. Like, smoking weed has never led to anything different like that for me. But when I've come to this point, I can't do heroin, I can't do cocaine, I can't do pills, I cannot drink, because it causes some sort of consequences that's detrimental to what I'm pursuing every single time. You know what I mean? Even, like I said, with the thing with driving my car and stuff like that, and even kind of coming to that realization with alcohol and stuff like that. Like, I can go through periods where I can casually drink a little bit like that, but it always freaking escalates, you know? So I'm at the point where it's like, I'm okay with that. You know, I've done all the stuff. I've done the benders. I've done this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, it is not diminishing my quality of life at all. Not having that. You know what I mean? Not sitting and drinking a beer after 247 shows or stuff like that. Like, it does not do anything to me
and
now.
that says a lot about where you're at now. You know, and let's make it less dramatic, right? Because there's some people who don't battle with alcohol addiction. There's some people who, listening to this, is like, man, I'm so glad I don't have any of these issues, right? I don't have to deal with any of this. What about social media? Yeah, that's a big one. Because there was a point in time, dude, especially during COVID, that was rough. And then the couple years after that, I would spend 2 hours doing this. Scroll. And it wasn't anything mind-boggling or inspirational. It was fucking people dancing, people acting like, what do they call them? PCs.
Oh my God. NPCs, freaking going out and doing pranks.
Bro,
and
pranks.
all that.
Like
some of those pranks just suck too.
Brain rot for hours. And then I'd literally click back into reality and be upset. I would be upset that I didn't get anything done.
Of course.
And then how did I handle that? I put it on people, right? Like, oh, dude, you said you would. I can't do that, man. I've been so busy today, I didn't get everything done. Yeah. When in reality, I wasted time because of this little computer in my hand, right? So it's like, what is taking your attention away from the things you should be doing? Your family, your career, your friendships, right? Because people will cut off friends. That's the thing that blows me. One thing I've learned in doing this podcast is how important a community and a network is.
100%.
Right? And it's not to make money. That's a benefit. Yeah. It's to surround yourself with like-minded people who really want to pour into you, right? With nothing in return.
Yeah.
Dude, Greg Rudolph. There's just a bunch of people I can name here who've just... Dude, I was at the 247 fights. He's introducing me to a lot of people, and he's like, he's hyping me up, and I'm like, you know, I not that I self-deprecate, but I do not see myself at a high regard. I'll be honest, right? And that's a problem. That's an issue I have that I'm constantly dealing with. He's saying all this shit, and I'm like, bro, that's not me. Like, you hyping me up right now. You hyping me up. Like, stop. Stop. You're putting an expectation on people that but like.
It's like self-doubt.
Yeah, that's self-doubt. We always do that, which leads to self-deprecation. But these are the people I've surrounded myself with.
Yep.
This is how they view me.
Yep.
Why don't I view myself this way? Right? Like, why do we do that to ourselves? But again, the network community, like I forgot where I was going with ADHD. But the importance of a community, and you surround yourself with these people, right? Who pour into you. How do you pay homage to that? You do the same thing.
And you do the best you can for them.
And you give everything. And if you get burned, you get burned. I've been burned 1,000 times.
Move on to the next thing.
You know how many times I've told people, I'm like, yo, look, I'll do this for you, expecting nothing in return. And then they take it and run with it. And I'm like, damn, not even, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it sucks to hear, but that's where we got to be humble, right? Because I didn't do this for anything in return. So I don't get to be upset that I didn't get anything back.
No, if it's something you entered in and it was not anything like that, it's... To me, that just gets to the point of entitlement. If you're just going to kick and scream and do things like that, it's like, no, there are people I approach to do work with and stuff like that because I think my talents, so their platform and what they're doing is where it's at. I think it can help my brand, and then I think my talents and what I excel at can do the same for them going back. You know what I mean? So there are a lot of business relationships that I have that started solely from that, you know?
Yeah, same, you know? And it's like, I'd rather get burned if down the line someone appreciates it, because one of the issues I have is I expect from people what I expect from myself.
Yes.
And if you always do that, you're going to be disappointed a lot of times, right? Like
the weeding out process is longer to find those people. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's just true. You know, and I'll be like, why would they do this? I wouldn't do it this way. No. You know, but I can't be upset. I can't hold them accountable for that because this is how I approach things. I can't put expectations on people that I put on myself. And it's being aware of that and keeping myself accountable and humbling myself and going, this isn't why I did this. This isn't how I would have approached it, but that's fine. That's how they decide to approach it. And I promise you, if that's how you approach life, you're going to be happier because you're not doing things to get something. You're doing things for people, and that always pays out in the end. Yeah. It always pays out. Dude, there's nothing I love more than bringing joy to someone. Yeah. Dude, this is why I'm not rich, because I would give it away, and God's like, hey, guy, I'm trying to help you out here, but every time I help you out, you throw the blessing away. You got to take care of yourself first before you take care of other people. I truly believe that.
It's like I love taking the blessing because I know the blessing's there for me, and that's what counts the most to me. You know what I'm saying? Again, somebody talking about this, people kind of stroking our egos and stuff like that to other people. It's like, oh, don't talk about me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of stuff. But it's like, I totally forgot where I was going with that. What did we just say right before that? I'm so sorry. I looked at the camera.
Taking the blessing.
Taking the blessing.
This is why I have these, but
we've
gone on our own.
I'm so sorry.
We've gone rogue.
Yeah, let's get back to that. It'll come back to me. But actually, one thing I did want to say from something you said, and this goes into where I just lost track of my train of thought, but I just lost it again. Never mind. Go back to these. Sorry.
This is why I love long form podcast. It's like authentic. It's real. Like this is
people trail off in conversations. People stumble over their words.
Dude, I've been told people hate having conversations with me because I can have two conversations at the same time and I thrive.
Yeah.
Right. Like I can be working on emails, editing a podcast, and having a conversation. And I know that can come off rude to some people, and I apologize. Yeah. And they're like, "Hey, are you listening?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'll regurgitate back, and they're like, well, it doesn't feel like you're listening. Yeah. You know, but it's harder for me to just sit here and go, you know, that's why. So on these conversations, it's like, I have to be very intentional. Yeah. You know, and then I'll be like, oh, that was a good point. Like I want to hit on this a little bit more. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, where was I going with that? But that's the whole beauty of it.
Value the authenticity. That's what I'm about.
Surround yourself with good people and pay it forward sounds so corny because I think it's come to a point where people pay it forward with an expectation to get something back. And I don't think that's the best way to approach it. I think being intentional with just pouring into people, that's where the magic lies, right? Like there's a man who died for me. Who the fuck am I to not do 1% of that for someone else?
Mm-hmm. Even just the slightest bit to go out of my way, even just once.
Yeah,
to do
and I will do that 10 times over, because if everyone approached life that way, life would be so much better for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But we are human, and we have expectations, and we want things,
And we're flawed.
and I get it, and no one's perfect. So let's stop pretending like we are and crushing other people. Dude, I was I hate to admit this, but I was watching a show.
Circle of honesty.
I was watching a show about love that happened on an island. Then I saw a chick on there, and then she wasn't there again. And I'm like, oh, what happened to this chick? Like, no one got voted off. And I Google it. And she had said a slur on a podcast a long time ago or something. I forget how it was.
A decade ago.
Dude, and people like wished death upon her.
It's like, do you not believe that people can be flawed at one point and do better later?
I'm not even that. It's like,
you know?
Well, like, first of all, what was the intention of that?
Yeah.
Like, was she trying to be racist? And I'm not excusing anything,
No,
right? And
no,
this is where I
absolutely
get
not.
canceled, and then it happens to me what happened to everyone else. But honestly, if you just listen to what I'm saying, hopefully it checks you and then checks other people. It's like, what was her intention? Was she trying to be racist? Was she trying to hurt someone? Or is that a part of her vocabulary? Yeah. You know? And if it offends someone, did someone have a conversation like, hey, if we're going to be friends, I just appreciate if you didn't do that. Afford them that opportunity to,
Out of respect to me.
To go, yeah. Afford them that opportunity to go, I didn't realize it affected you that way. And then now they got to make a decision. I value our friendship and I respect you, so I'm no longer going to do this. Or I'm going to keep doing it anyway. And then now you're afforded the opportunity to go, I wish to remain acquaintances with you. Or I no longer wish to remain acquaintances with you. Why can we not have those conversations?
Or even just how we move about things. Like, I love the phrase of, I always want to see you eat. You just might not be welcome to break bread at my table. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why do we have to wish bad on people? Why do we have to wish for people to go without that we don't like? You know what I mean? It goes back into the whole competition of thing that I said earlier. It's like, people spend more time when they're in a competitive situation formulating ways to knock other people off than they do to level themselves up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it's the same thing with drugs. I spent more time trying to prevent myself from withdrawing or get my next fix, and all of that energy that I put into running around and getting dope and all of that. Like, if I had just put that to a shred of the mindset that I have now, I probably would have hit that spot a little earlier where I'm like, okay, I got this figured out a little better than I thought I did.
I heard a saying, to have a crackhead's mindset. Right? Like,
At all costs.
I don't even know if that's how it was said, but it was have a crackhead's relentlessness. You know, not that, I know that sounds bad, but like,
they're relentless.
someone who's, you know, that they get their fix. They don't have two nickels to rub together. They don't have shelter. But they get their fix. Imagine if you had that mindset, that relentlessness, that like, this goal of mine is going to happen. Approach it in a healthy way.
Balance. Well, life is all about balance.
You're going to find success, whatever that means for you, in whatever industry that is, whether it's fighting, whether it's in the corporate world, whether it's in the creative world, whether it's... One thing that blows my mind is I taught myself everything. I do my photos, I do my videos, I do my editing, I do everything myself. And I learned through YouTube and Google, right? Like, I had, when I did Kevin Donald, this is how crazy this is. Not crazy, but this is how cool this is. Kevin Donaldson was on my podcast. He's got a huge platform, does very well with his podcast and what he does. He's like, hey, I created this emblem that I'm going to use when the episode drops. Like, feel free to use it. He sends me the Relentless logo, like spinning, but it's like a green screen.
Ooh.
And I'm like, how the heck am I going to apply this? Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I have the Adobe suite, so I'm like, how do I remove a green screen from a video? And then After Effects comes up. I'm like, oh, I have After Effects.
Yep.
You know, oh, I have Premiere. That's how I edit everything. And then in these platforms, there's the tools to do that. So I'm like, okay, what tool is that? So I'm YouTubing how to do it on Premiere, how to do it on After Effects. After Effects requires layers and all. I'm like, that's a lot. Oh, with Premiere, it's like cropping, but for video. Okay, let me try this. Oh, I can click a color profile and remove everything of that color profile. Let me click the screen. Boom, disappeared. So now I have this floating emblem.
And then you go to work backwards.
So I'm like, okay, cool. You know what I'll do? I'll just render this because I don't know the right way to do it. I'll just render this in and of itself and then layer this on my video. So it's not the most efficient. It's not the fastest, but I learned how to do this. And then I started Googling how do I make that?
How do you make it more efficient?
Yeah.
How do you
or like
know?
not even that. How do I make the rotating emblem? How do I make a 2-dimensional logo into a 3-dimensional logo? Well, that requires After Effects.
Yep.
So I learned how to do that myself because I was like, oh, this is a cool thing. Like, what if I want to apply it to something else or someone else's logo or someone I'm working for? Like, how can I? So, and just that little, hey, I sent you this. You can use it. I learned 3 or 4 things that I can apply in the future to my current podcast. So it's like, you may not know something, but if you have an interest in something, learn it.
Yeah.
Learn it. We'll go work 8 to 12 hours for a company and help build their dreams. But we won't give ourselves 4 hours to learn a trade or learn a skill or learn something and push for ourselves. It blows my mind.
It's like different things in photography. Like if you scroll through my Instagram with different things, I like to throw a slow shutter speed on to give kind of a little aesthetic boost to some frames I try to make. And it's like, that's literally just switching a couple things on my camera in real time and then moving on. Like there are people that will forego that whole process, learning that and stuff like that, because they're just like, oh, I can throw this gradient blur or whatever you want to call it in on Photoshop. See, I don't use any of that stuff because I know how to do most of it from just right here, you know? Yeah, but it's like, I kind of want to pat you on the back because when I talk about being self-taught and stuff like that, I was in a very lucky position to where and I'll say this till the day I die, I was very blessed to have some of the best mentors just right in front of me when it came to sports photojournalism. Chris Horner at the Trib, he's been at the Trib since 95, I think. And then my uncle had the first A1 cover of the Trib in 1992 when it started being published as the Pittsburgh Tribune Review. Both massively successful in their own right, both insanely humble people, both insanely talented. But like that, you know, because there was a time when I was living out here, I was part-time living with my uncle when I was going to North Catholic and stuff like that. And so in addition to him taking me on different things like that, I was able to literally just sit back and watch his process. Like he didn't outright tell me, oh, I'm doing this. I just watched how he did his thing for a handful of years, and it's like I applied it myself. So I actually had something to learn it from like that. There was a big if whether or not I was going to do something with it, and you know, by the grace of God, young me had the wherewithal to be able to do something with it. But like it's just solely based off of ambition and stuff like that. So that's I just love people being creative in general, but then the people that are willing to kind of get over that hump to learn to be able to do creative things that are compelling and, you know, coherent and all that. Like if you're willing to deal with all those frustrations, learn the nomenclature of the software and all of those things, like I've got an immense amount of respect for people like you that do it that way in the same regard as a savant, you know.
That's the perfect example though, right? Like I didn't have that. I made it work. And guess what? I can understand how to operate a camera. I can't operate it how you operate it, but that's fine. Because if I want to, the internet is, well, relatively free. You have to pay bills and all that, but like you can learn anything and everything. If you want to.
The time, the legwork, the effort.
It may be different. It may look different. I may not have someone as accessible like that, but YouTube, I have YouTube, I have this. Like with the video stuff, dude, sometimes I'll catch like the light, like it looks like it's like
little
flickering.
flicker, horizontal
So
flicker.
I'm looking how to deal with that, and it's like, oh, what's your white balance at? What's this at?
How's your exposure? What's your shutter speed?
Yeah,
What's your
so like,
ISO?
it's
all
all
that.
stuff I'm learning. But guess what? That's through the process, and there's a beauty in it because I'll watch one of my first episodes and my audio is horrible, my video is horrible, and I'll watch my recent ones and I'm like, man, it's not where I want it, but I'm making progress.
It's looking like something. You know?
I'm making progress.
That's the best part of it, and that's with ACPallaMedia. What I'm doing, like my whole brand on like up until within the last year, I'd say, has just been built around being a really talented photographer. I know how good I am at what I do. I know the amount of people that comment on my work. And, you know, this might just be my delusional self-belief, but I'll look at anybody in the face and I'll tell them that I 100% with all of me think that I am the best photographer in this city. You know, there's a lot of talent around and stuff like that, and that's no disrespect to anybody else, but that's my relentlessness. That's how much I believe in myself. That's how willing I am to take all the shit that I've eaten my entire life and not get down on myself, put it all back into what I do. And like, you know what I'm saying? It's
That's
to
that mindset.
It's to a point where I'm not saying it just to get myself through and keep my head above water. Like, I've worked my ass off to the point where I can look myself in the mirror and I believe it 100%. You know what I'm saying?
As Ethan said on his episode, he said, you know, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to fucking basically do work.
Never met an Appalachian boy like me.
But I loved how he ended it. He's I feel I'm ready. I put the work in. I'm about to go in there and do business. And then he ends it with, what type of fighter would I be if I did not believe that?
To take this opportunity and to go do something like that and to chase greatness in front of all of these people with the risks of all of the risks that come with it. You know what I mean? Justin Gaethje, and sorry to interrupt you, but Justin Gaethje said something great regarding fighting, but I think it is completely applicable to life, to where when you accept and understand that the absolute worst case scenario is a very valid possibility and it can happen and it might be something you have to endure, when you drop the fear of that and just move,
or just accept it.
Freeing.
Or just accept it. I jumped out of a plane, right? Like there's a possibility I jump and die. Or there's a possibility I jump and experience one of the craziest things I've ever experienced.
A thrill that so few people get to, you know.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing with anything in life. Like, accept the fear. Respect the fear. Oh, I like that. Accept it, respect it, and own it. Right? That's a possibility. I have it. I'm going to put it right here and do this anyway. If you don't believe you're the best or have the ability to be the best, why are you doing this?
Why are you chasing what you're chasing? Why, if I didn't believe I was the best, or if I didn't believe I had the potential to be the best, why the fuck am I talking about my name in the history books?
Why are you wasting time?
Yeah. I'll go sell insurance or something like that. You know what I mean? I still get to help people doing that, you know, whatever.
They make a lot of money, apparently.
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 Maybe I just haven't gotten the message that money's that important yet.
But there's something to be said about that self-belief. That's because whatever you think is true, right? If you think you're a horrible piece of shit, you'll never amount to anything. You're not going to do anything in life. And this is your life forever. That's true. If you believe this is temporary, I'm going to make it through this. There's something on the other side for me, and I'm going to be the best at X. It's true.
That's something I talk to my clients about all the time when I was working in substance abuse treatment. It's just flipping the internal narrative that you operate with, how you interact with the world around you, how you talk about the situation to yourself. You know what I mean? If I suck, everybody sucks, this person's a liar, this person's a cheater, I can't ever trust anybody, and the world's just out to get me. Like, I'm not the hugest believer in people manifesting and just talking shit and expecting things to happen, but it does manifest itself a little bit. If you constantly are exposing yourself to a state of negativity, be prepared for negativity to be a prevalent theme in your life.
But because that's what you're looking at. It's like if okay, look around this room real quick. We're going to do an experiment. All right, done. How many yellow things did you see?
Can't count.
Take a guess. An educated guess. Don't just throw
10.
10.
Because I'm looking at the mic. I see that just going by how much the Relentless logos
now
are
let's
on.
count. Now let's count how many yellow things we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, we're going out here too?
Yeah.
Laptop screen.
11. I didn't count that. 12. You see more yellow things now, right? Because that's what you're looking for. That's the same thing with, like, if you're looking for good, good is going to come.
100%.
If you're looking for bad, bad is going to come.
Every time.
Right? And I truly believe, me being a faith-bearing man, God wants good for us. There's a plan. If we
doesn't want us to suffer.
Align with his plan, chasing good, doing good, good things are going to happen. If we try to do things ourselves and fuck people over and take shortcuts and go, we're not going to get good. We're going to get all the consequences of our bad actions.
Yeah. Or even just wanting
14,
stuff
I forgot your hat.
even just talking about stuff like the timetable with which we want it and which we want to earn it and have it come to us. You know what I'm saying? It goes along that same thing with that, because when we expect everything quickly, when we expect to put minimal effort into things and achieve maximum results, we're probably going to find ourselves be disappointed more times than not.
Well, we want instant gratification. With instant gratification, you don't get the lessons learned. No. Right? If I gave you $1 million, I know for a fact, if you gave me $1 million right now, it'd be gone. No. Right? But if I clawed my way to $1 million and I failed in this business venture, eventually build my way up to have $1 million, that $1 million is not going to be spent. It's going to make me another $1 million because I've learned the value of that $1 million and how to apply it efficiently to maximize its benefit.
And then you can learn to put yourself in that money in positions where you don't have to touch it and it's still going to grow. You know what I mean?
But we forego that if we forego the lessons we learn throughout the process. And this is not to say go chase failure, but go chase failure with a mindset of success at the end, right? If I told you, and to be whatever the ultimate success looks like for you for ACPallaMedia, that success, you're 10 failures away from that. How fast are you going to fail? Can I get them done right now? All 10 done right now.
How quick can I get them done in the quickest go through?
If you know the 11th opportunity is that success, you're going to want to fail and fail quickly.
And I think living in the moment, sorry to cut you off, but to go with that point, that's why it's so important to go into these things and not expect anything in return. You know what I'm saying? Is because a great quote that I heard, I want to say it was Eric Thomas. I don't know if they call him the hip hop preacher. He come from not a lot and then ended up going and getting a master's degree from Michigan State and now goes around and does motivational speaking and stuff like that. But one of the biggest things is I am not a no, I'm one yes away. That's been my whole career. As many times as people have shut the door in my face, I haven't known when the next failure was going to be the last one. You know,
but it won't be the last one if you keep going.
Exactly.
At the end of those no's, there's a yes.
Who's the Morgan & Morgan? John Morgan, the lawyer. He's on Forbes, one of the richest men in the world. I'm sure he finds business failures and blunders and different learning experiences and stuff like that. He's wise enough to make it not detrimental to his whole being and stuff like that, and he's taken these lessons. But it's different stuff like that. It's like that's what we talked about earlier with the point of you never really make it, if that makes sense. You know,
because you're always chasing the next thing, right? Like for me, success might be $1 million. There's someone with $1 million chasing 100 million. There's someone with 100 million chasing $1 billion. There's Elon Musk chasing rockets to Mars.
Fucking all the billions and Mars.
That to be said, like if you have that mindset of continuous improvement, continuous growth, you're always going to be chasing something.
Yep.
And that's fine if you approach it healthy, right? If you're chasing money for the sake of money, you're going to find a lot of upset there because you can never have enough money. There's so much money. You can never have enough money.
There's always stuff we can have.
But if you're
of.
chasing intentional relationships, you're chasing a successful business, you're chasing stability for your family, you're going to find that. And and then money's going to just come in.
And you are so much more grateful for it at the end of it, man. It's like that fear of getting knocked out. Once you learn to accept it and just understand that it's part of the thing, the glory and the highs, they all come, you know what I mean, in their own way. It might not always be world title belts, but it could be different stuff, you know, like a Gaethje Holloway at the buzzer at UFC 300 moment, you know what I mean?
Ethan Goss coming in undefeated for the last 5 years against Brady Huang.
I hadn't seen him lose at 247 since I'd been there.
Loses to Brady Huang. Most people would look at that and be like, fuck this. Like, what did I come? Like, I did all this work to lose to something he's been drilling. Brady's leg lock game is insane. You train for that. You prep for it. And then you get put in it.
And it's there in real life. That would knock most men off their grind. He kept it. Now where is he at? Fighting a PFL. Opportunity of a lifetime. Yep, right before a couple fights before a world title fight. You know what I'm saying?
Like, the perfect example of failure, success. No, yes. Like, just remain relentless. Remain relentless. Whatever it is, I don't care what goal you're chasing. If you find failure, work through it. Learn something from it, apply it, keep it pushing.
And it's like, you bring up the Goss example, just because he's fighting tonight, but on that same card, Justin Patton, what he was doing and the wall he ran into with Chuka Willis, you know, I'm sure there were people that were casuals and didn't know those guys and kind of looked at their story and were like, uh-oh. You know what I'm saying? But it's like Ethan goes and gets the call from PFL. Justin gets a call from CFFC. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if you saw the video that I just made for Justin. I made a video. Yeah, exactly. That's her second. No disrespect, Carly. I just had to use it because it was relevant to the example. I know they're going to watch this.
Out of both on here, dude. Both amazing people.
Phenomenal
amazing
people.
Fighters. And that's the thing. Amazing people first. And amazing fighters.
They're amazing fighters because of the kind of people they are. Yeah, and there are so many other personalities in this scene that embody those things. You know what I mean? I'm not disrespecting anybody. I'm just saying those two because those are the ones I'm most involved with and are relevant to the conversation. But,
same. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm gonna get you all on.
We got you guys taken care of. But it's like, that's why I like working with the people I do. It's because this success that they have and this unity that we all have as a team and this vibe that we have in the different camps that I'm in and stuff like that shit's there for a reason, and these people are so entertaining to watch for a reason, is because this is them in their everyday life. You know, that's why I love working with Justin and Carly, is because they're just so humble, so polite, so just grateful for what I do. They let me do my thing. And we just have that opportunity to build together, and it doesn't matter what anything is in any of our careers. We're all the type of people that are just going to bounce back from it and look to maximize the next opportunity.
A rising tide lifts all ships. Surround yourself with good people, and good things happen. Surround yourself with bad people, bad things happen. What's the saying? If you surround yourself with 5 alcoholics, you'll be the 6th. Surround yourself with 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6th. So
that goes into a point that you made earlier too. You know, you can move through these things and have this ambition and treat everybody that same way. You can treat the janitor with the same respect, or with the same respect that you treat a CEO with, but it's also in the same breath with that, aligning yourself with what you want. You don't see a ton of CEOs hanging out with janitors every day. Does that make sense? Like, everybody's got to do their thing. Everybody has their role and stuff like that. And that's no disrespect at what anybody does. It's just when you develop that awareness and figure out your path and figure out what you're pursuing and align yourself with those different things. It's like, you know, I've got a bunch of friends I know from high school that are still sitting around and smoking weed in the same situations and shit like that, and going and partying at the same places we used to, all that. You know, I love them to death. I wish nothing but the best for them, but it's like, the ones that are still in my life understand that I have these things that I'm pursuing, and they're still supportive of that. And they understand that I'm supportive of whatever they choose to do in their life. Even if it doesn't align with mine, I'm still going to show love to the ones that I come up with and do all these things and been through all these things with. It's just, you might not always be at my table like that.
And that's fine.
Yeah. And the ones that have had an issue with that are the ones that aren't around, and the ones that accept that and understand how I reciprocate and that I always do and I always show up are the ones where it lasts, you know.
and it all figures itself out at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It all figures itself out at the end. What's next for ACPallaMedia?
Right now, man.
Palla.
Dude,
AC,
I've been
people
getting
listening
my
to this
whole
like,
life.
he's dumb. What's
No.
next for ACPallaMedia?
Ish is a phenomenal podcast host, and I've had nothing but the best time here. He's completely hospitable.
hyping me up. He's
Yep.
hyping me up.
See, I'm making him say he's uncomfortable right now because I'm saying good things about
Tanner
him.
Hall told me to do this a long time ago.
Let's hear
When
it.
someone compliments you, instead of shutting it down, say, I accept that. I receive that. So I receive that. Thank you, brother.
Yeah,
That's how I'm going to start. I receive that.
beautiful. I love that. See, my wife tells me that all the time. She's like, "Can you ever just take a compliment?"
Just try this with her. Watch her. You might blow her mind. Be like, I accept that. I receive that.
Thank you. I love you.
Thank you. Yep. Boom. She's going to be like,
I value your opinion.
I spoke with Ish today.
Yes. Ish put me on the right direction.
I received that.
No, man, what's next for ACPallaMedia? I'm trying to branch out and just continue to do things, invest in these projects that make me feel alive. What I'm trying to do right now is really just turn ACPallaMedia into a kind of image industry. It's wrapping things around hybriding art and athletics. You know what I mean? And we're dipping our toes in from anything from painting. It's like I do shoe design and stuff like that. I've got some stuff cooking with a fighter. I'm probably gonna do some custom boots for him for a fight. So anything from fashion to still photography to audio or anything like that. I'm just trying to align myself with people that I believe in, causes I believe in, brands I believe in, and just give the best of my work to paint the most curated, high-end image that I can for these different entities that I choose to give my time to, and that I'm lucky enough to want to give their time to me.
You ever heard of Pose Fitness?
I have. I actually just followed them on Instagram yesterday because I know Isaac from, I think he's affiliated with them in some form out at the Mat Factory. And I just saw
Andy,
it.
dude, awesome dude. Talk about always trying to pay it forward. Or one thing I like to do is, like, if I have a friend or someone who can benefit from a conversation, I plug them in.
Yeah.
And he does that all the time. He literally just sent me a voice. He's a big voice texter. So when I introduce you guys, expect a voice message.
Love it.
But he just introduced me with some people over phone. He's like, hey, man, you guys have similar interests, similar beliefs, similar mindsets. I think you guys can benefit from knowing each other. Introduce yourselves. All right, let me know if you need anything. And then we're both like, it's like when you're in grade school and you're like, hey, this is your friend now. Be friends. And you're sitting at the park like, hi.
What do we do now?
Yeah. So, but one thing, get with him, because I think you can benefit from the app. He has this, like, he calls it the champion program, where you become an affiliate and an opportunity to make money.
Yeah. I'm
not sure how you can leverage that. I'll let your creative brain, but I think there's a space for that there. He offers, like, he wants me to put my workout plans and stuff in there, what I'm going to do. He has the app, like, tracks all kinds of workout metrics and stuff like that, but also creates databases and stuff like that. So
that sounds insanely
that's
useful,
something,
man.
maybe even if you just do your media side with that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's a way you can leverage that. I'll connect you guys, because shout out Andy.
That.
But I think that's something that could benefit the both of you, dude. Your mind and his brain.
That's what I'm all about with these things. And, I talk about business ventures and my ambition and stuff like that. And it's a lot of it kind of formulates the same way projects do in real time, just based on where I'm at and stuff like that. But it's like, the utmost focus of it is just remaining to live in gratitude and just make the most of every opportunity that comes my way, nurture these business and personal connections that I make. It's just, I just want to continue to be the most authentic brand I can be and just continue to put my work out to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just have that reflection of me in everything that I do, And so, I'd love to talk with Andy. So if you watch this, buddy,
I'll set you guys up before.
Hell yeah.
By the time this airs, he's going to be like, oh, dude,
this guy,
created something. Yeah.
I've already been sending him voice texts.
So that being said, one way I like to close is, we've talked about a lot of stuff. You've shared a lot of your story, and I'm very appreciative of you coming on and wearing your heart on your sleeve, of being humble and authentic. People listening to this, as they turn the episode off, if you can give them one message to take home, what message would that be?
To go with the corny trend that we've been talking about that we love so much, and to just tie it in with the podcast, man, you stay relentless. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's everybody and their brother telling you that you're not going to do it. I don't care if it's the people that you think their opinions are the most important. If there's a cause in your heart and that fire burns, and it's something that makes you feel alive, because that's something I've found with my journey, man, is that those things that really make you feel alive are sometimes hard to come by, and just maximizing all of that and wearing your heart on your sleeve, letting people know the most authentic you possible, and approaching things with gratitude and humility. The most success, comfort, and stability that you could ever imagine with putting in the least amount of work possible will come your way, dude. And that's not saying that approach your life like that. It's just when I stopped fighting everything and embraced the path I was on and just moved on it with full eyes and a clear eyes and a full heart, that's when the abundance started coming my way. So whatever you're dealing with, whatever your ambitions are, whatever you're trying to do on your own path to greatness, if you choose to buy into it with all of you. That's my biggest thing. You know, no matter what the risks are, no matter what the fears are, no matter anything like that. If you believe that you can do it, if you want it that bad, you will make it happen.
Amen. And there's something to be said. It's not that things get easier. It's the more you deal with and conquer, the better equipped you get at dealing with things.
Yep.
So as things get harder, you get better at dealing with them.
100%.
So do hard things.
Last little mic drop to go right on with that point. I tell this to my patients all the time. Life's an uncomfortable thing. When you learn to operate in the discomfort, that's when you start to grow. If you can get to a point where you can thrive in the discomfort and be the best you at a drop of a dime when things are most uncomfortable, ain't shit that's going to stop you. That's
And I got something to add to that.
Let's go.
Comfort and growth do not live in the same room.
They don't.
If you are comfortable, it's going to hard to be growing.
Mm-hmm.
If you are growing, it's going to be hard to be comfortable.
Let's leave it on that.
Let's
I can't
leave
top
it on
that.
that.
I can't top that with a fourth.
Where can people follow you online if they want to follow your work, your projects, or they want to follow you?
I'm in the process of developing a website, so that domain and everything's going to come at a later time, but all of my online stimulation of my brand goes on the Instagram app. You can follow me at Andrew Palla PGH, AndrewPallaPGH. That's where all my video, photo, graphic design stuff is. That's where you'll get the most unique view on me as a human being. That's where it's easy just to connect with me, all that stuff. So look forward to talking with you guys.
Go follow them online. And also, if you're not already, follow the Relentless Project on
Definitely.
Instagram. It's Relentless PRJCT on YouTube. I'm trying to build that up.
Yes, sir.
And, like, share, subscribe. That's what all the influencers say. But I say that because by doing that, you get to hear more cool conversations from cool people just like Andrew. So I appreciate you for jumping on the Relentless Project,
Thank
brother.
you, buddy.
This is the one with Andrew Palla, and we're out.
We made it happen. Thanks, everyone.
Later.